Hey, what's up guys, Sir Emanon here, and welcome to another feature match commentary on the channel today. So this is going to be for round 2 of LCS number 9, which is currently going on this weekend. Gonna be uploading as many rounds as I possibly can, so definitely stay tuned if you guys want to see more of these. But this is going to be featuring Jackalope24, who is Jack Reed on Drytron versus Joker93, aka Joseph Chang on Virtual World. So without further ado, let's just go ahead and get started here. We're going to see the rock, paper, scissors being won by Jack here, who's on Drytron. So Drytron's going to be going first in this matchup. Both players on 40. So the opener for Drytron is going to be Cyber Emergency, Drytron Gamma, Fafnir, Chaos Space, and Artifact Scythe. Pretty interesting hand. I kind of am curious about what this build entails. I do wonder what the Chaos Space targets are going to be, because obviously they can't search the Drytron since it has to be level 4 to 8. So maybe he's playing like baby Chaos Dragons. I'm very curious. Scythe here also maybe indicates some Artifact Dagda plays, which could be very interesting. Or he could just be main decking a Sanctum. And then for the Virtual World player, it's going to be Lao, Lili, Lulu, Qinglong, and another Lulu. So this is quite a strong hand. Definitely can play going second because of the Qinglong, which is able to possibly negate something. Of course, requires additional setup, but this hand is pretty good. So both players opening relatively well. We're going to see the activation of Fafnir in main phase 1. That's going to search for a copy of Nova. Nova can then be activated to grab a copy of Zeta from the deck. He's then going to use the emergency. That's going to just, okay, be an immediate scoop. How about that, huh? Didn't even get to see what the end board was going to be. I don't know about that, just because like you don't know necessarily what Drytron build your opponent is on. Obviously they open really well, and if you don't have any hand traps, it's unlikely that you're going to be playing the game. And I understand like wanting to preserve the matchup, but that seems a bit preemptive because there's so many different builds of Drytron running around right now that, I don't know, it seems very inconclusive just to scoop off of a Nova plus an emergency. But, you know, we're going to just see Virtual World quickly move on to game 2. Looks like maybe there was a sighting error here. Just looking at the chat, they offered a draw. Yeah, okay, there we go. So yeah, there's a sighting error, so they just agreed to have a draw. That's what you do if you ever run into that on like your rated games and dueling book. Just ask your opponent for a draw. But looks like obviously Virtual World is going to be going first in game number 2 here. So the opener for Virtual World is going to be Nibiru, Chuche, Triple Tactics Talent, Kowloon, and Gigi. Excuse the heater. Okay, so this hand is pretty decent. It's not the most absurd hand, but it's definitely good enough. And then for the Drytron player, it's going to be Drytron Alpha, Drytron Gamma, Megalith Bethor, Manju, and Trap Trick. Trap Trick maybe does entail a Sanctum, perhaps. Pretty interesting is that he kept it in going second. And we do see the Megalith engine, so I'm very curious as to how far he is in on the Megaliths. Obviously, people are playing like full and stuff, but I wonder if he's playing like Hagath and like Ophiel and all those cards. So very, very curious. We're going to start off with a Kowloon rather. That's going to go ahead and activate Chuche face up. Then we're going to see Gigi target the Chuche. That's going to send Qinglong, summon itself. Then we're going to see Qinglong being activated next. That's going to add a Lulu and probably pitch the Chuche. Lulu then going to be used. That's going to go ahead and send another Qinglong to search a Lelel. And then he's going to go ahead and synchro away for a Stardust Charge. That's going to draw a card. He's going to draw an Upstart, which draws another card. It's going to be Ash. Very, very good. So at this stage, he could go for Lelel. Is there a way he can make VFD here? Yeah, he can Lelel bring back Lulu, and then go into A9 with the Lulu and the Stardust Charge, and then raise Lelel by 3 with this. You can also send Yan, so that could also be relevant. We'll see. You can go for like double rank 9 or double synchro 9s instead of using Chuche Engrave. Activate Lelel, that's going to send an Yan. There we go. That's going to summon itself and then summon Gigi. And then Yan can then trigger after that. So yeah, these can be double level 9 synchros here. He's going to synchro away for a Croc. That's going to draw 1. It's going to draw another copy of Talents, which is pretty dead here, but it's 3 cards. Then going to go for Shen Shen, and then overlay for a copy of Calamities. So this is a reasonable setup. MVA is going to resolve Gigi, that's going to add back Lalo. and then pass. For turn, we're going to see a top deck to Nova, which is pretty good. So the good thing about this deck, obviously, is that there's just so many cards to try and stop that like single Ashes don't do much, but VFD can definitely seal the game here. Going to actually shotgun it, so not going to be playing around Gamma here. Because obviously he has Chuche to protect himself from like impermanent stuff. But honestly, like, your opponent probably would have Gamma'd on your turn, most likely. Unless if they like, really wanted to hold it for this specific play, which I guess is fair. But he's going to call light here, which is really good because all the Drytrons are lights, so they can't activate in hand or in graveyard now. Because this affects possession, of course. So gonna set Manju and set Trap Trick and pass. Not looking too great. Gonna draw Droll for turn. So this is a very interesting card. I was wondering if we were gonna see Droll make it to the side deck for this event, simply because with the emergence of Drytron and people being, less on the combo decks that like didn't really lose to Droll. Like Dragon Link could play around Droll pretty well. I was wondering if this would kind of see more play for like this matchup in particular. So very interesting to see this. Main phase 1, I'm going to switch the True King of all Calamities to attack position, then go for Qinglong. That's going to search for a copy of a Lulu, and then pitch probably a Spare Talents. And he's going to activate Lulu, targeting the Qinglong. That's going to pitch another Qinglong, or dump another Qinglong to add a Yugioh. Then going to use Yugioh, targeting the Trap to send Nyan. And he's going to Synchro 6 for a Yugioh. He's going to use Yugioh effect, banishing the Niam, which is pretty interesting here. He's going to go for one of the cards here. It's going to be the Trap Trick, which will be chained. That's going to... go for Needle Sealing. Wow. Crazy. Huh. So he's either maining or siding Needle Sealing. Very interesting to see that this was kept in, not only going second, but also blind, because they did not know the matchup. So... pretty interesting. I mean, this resists Needle Sealing, provided that it's alive. Same original type and attribute. Does it have to be different names? Yes, it does. So, right now he has Shen. But the double Gigis are like the only other ones which don't contribute to Juju's protection. So, it'll be interesting to see like how he's going to try and play around this. Because Needle Sealing obviously is much worse when it's known. Similar to Torrential. He's going to use Calamities Calling Light. And he's going to use the Lao Lao next. That's going to send Nyan, which does, in fact, make the Yugioh live in case he wants to revive the Lulu, which is decent. Or if he wants to revive the Shen later on as well. He's going to bring back the Gigi here. He's going to use Chuche. We did not see what was declared. You guys can see the chat now. I've removed my overlay so you guys can actually read the chat. But of course, it's the one of the times where they're using Discord instead. He's gonna go for Coral, so he lowered Well by 3. That's what happened there. So this is, I guess, gonna force out the Needle Sealing to some capacity. Coral gonna go ahead and pitch Nibiru. That's gonna target the Needle Sealing, which is chained. That's gonna get rid of the Coral and the VFD. This is still protected. So he has Shen as follow-up. Yeah, that stays. And then Coral is going to leave the field to draw a copy of Kowloon. That's pretty decent. He really wanted more monsters, though, so we'll see. He hasn't used Lily at all this turn. He's going to go for Shen. That's going to go ahead and banish the VFD and the Coral Dragon. That way Nan can possibly recycle them later. And then Battle Phase is going to go attack with the Juju. That's going to banish the Manju. Should be banished. And then Shen gonna attack for 28. So all things considered, this is actually not too bad for Drytron. He has to play through... Well, he has to play through Droll, which is going to be tough. Yeah, it might not actually be good enough. We'll see. He's going to pass on this and resolve Gigi to grab back the Lel. And then for turn, we're going to see Hcabe Megalith full. So this is obviously part of the Megalith package if you're choosing to play it. The real question is if he is on like the level 4s. Yeah, should be pretty interesting. So now that he is no longer under VFD, he can play a little bit. Although again, it's tricky to navigate Drytron when you have to play in Shen, like especially if you have to start with a Nova. Because like, you can't just freely link it away for Link Reba like you normally would be able to. Just to get engraved, because obviously it can't. Oh, okay, so he's using Bethor's hand effect to pitch away the 2 Drytrons to get full on the field. Okay. Very interesting. So this can now get back a ritual in your graveyard, so you can add back the Bethor. So then it'll become level 8 in that case. Yeah, he's using full effect. You can also use full to grab something from the deck. Right, he's going to use Chuche on resolution. I'm not sure if this is in response to full being used to ritual summon. Because again, they're not typing in chat, so we can't tell. But Chuche is being used. That's going to go ahead and... Okay, so I guess it's in response to full. So chain resolves backwards. This banishes the full because of Shen Shen, and then this has to resolve, so you have to get rid of the Bethor. Or maybe that's not what's happening. Okay, so that isn't what's happening. So what happened was this was chain link 1, and this was chain in response, and then this was chain as chain link 3 to the full. So it's 1 Chuche, 2 full, 3 Ash. This is why having the chat in there would have been very nice, but we figured it out, so not too big of a deal. He's then going to use Alpha to tribute away the Bethor. This was added back to hand because the full got ashed, so that's why he added it back. And then Alpha search Ben 10. He can then go for Gamma. Like, even if he links it away, he can't reborn because Shen Shen. Plus, he's going to be under Droll now. Yeah, this is not looking very good. And Droll going to be dropped. And yeah, he's just going to scoop from there. So with that, that's what Virtual World can do. Even if, VFD only needs to buy them 1 turn, even if they don't like VFD multiple turns in a row. He was able to draw into so many different hand traps there. But if you guys are enjoying this commentary, be sure to leave a like on the video and subscribe if you are new here and want to see more commentaries. I'll be uploading a lot of matches from the LCS, so be sure to check all of those out. But without further ado, let's just go ahead and jump into game number 3, where we're going to see Drytron go first yet again. So opener for Drytron is going to be Megalith Oak, Bethor, Fafnir, Alpha, and a Preparation of Rites. So he is on Oak, which is a one-of in most pure Megalith builds. So he's on a very heavy Megalith package then. Have to assume he's on Hcabe and Ophiel then. I guess maybe not though, because I don't know. It's kind of weird. Would you play Hcabe and Ophiel? I have no idea, to be honest. I'm not even going to make any assumptions at this point. But what we do know is that this is going to be able to possibly summon out Bethor on his opponent's turn, which is pretty decent. This hand is quite nice. It has Nova, a Drytron, a Prep, so you can get Ben 10. Pretty good. And then for Virtual World, it's going to be Ash, Lalo, Desires, Lulu, and Gamma. So this hand is pretty decent. You have ways to stop your opponent. However, these hand traps have to be timed very, very specifically, and it really highly just depends on what your opponent has in their hand. So depending on when these get used, they might not be impactful enough. And then in terms of the Virtual World engine itself, Desires is going to have to get him there, because like normally Lulu and then or especially Lalo is like not amazing. So we're going to activate Fafnir. That's going to search for a copy of Nova. He's then going to use Nova. That's going to summon out Zeta from deck. Then he's going to use Alpha to tribute away the Zeta to search for Ritual. Oh, that gets Gamma though. Okay. And because these do tribute as cost, that's why the Zeta goes to grave here. So Gamma is going to be used. That's quite a strong Gamma. However, he has Prep. He can only Prep and then use Zeta. We'll see if Prep gets ashed. It is. Okay, there you go. Yeah, because you have to stop Prep if you know they have an unused Drytron, which you obviously knew they have because the Zeta. Because that's always going to be getting Ben 10. And that's just going to be like too much free advantage if you can't stop it. So at this point, it's not looking too good. You can still use Zeta here. You just won't get as much value. I'm not really sure which Megalith you would tribute away. It's the question. You could, I guess you could like tribute away the Oak, because this will search Medionis, and then you can like Medionis tribute this away, and then on Oak, so you have Bethor. This needs to tribute though from with the levels, so I don't know. This does not seem very optimal. Yeah, he's gonna use Zeta to to tribute away the Oak. That's gonna search out for Medionis. And the Meteor is going to tribute to bring back the Oak. Okay, so he is doing that play. It's not looking very good, though. Oh, he is using Oak Effect, I forgot. So this allows you to cycle a card, draw one, and then discard. So he draws Dawn Knight, so that means he's on the Union Carrier package as well. Which I think is good, but not in this particular case. We haven't normal summoned yet. So it's weird. Like, you can pitch Bethor, normal this, but then, like, what are you really doing? Like, you can send this away to send, like, a Gamma, maybe. Which is... oh, alright. I don't know. It's not that good, though. Yeah, this is not looking very good. Maybe just pitch the Dawn Knight. I don't know, though. We'll see what he does. He's gonna pitch the Dawn Knight. Okay. Oh, you could have normed it and then linked it away, which would have gotten the Armageddon Knight effect as well. But I don't know. It wouldn't have amounted to a whole ton, I don't think. He's gonna pass, and then the Cypherms get banished, so I don't think he has a single interruption here. Correct me if I'm wrong, but let me just read this again real fast. You can activate this effect, ritual summon one ritual monster from your hand by trading monsters from your hand or field, including this card on your field, whose total levels equal or exceed the level of the ritual monster. So this is level 4, this is level 8. Yeah, not looking super great here. At least not for Drytron. Virtual World is going to go ahead and use Desires. That's going to banish 10 and draw Gamma and Lao G's. So both players not opening up super well, but Virtual World very favored here. Because even if you have to normal summon this, like, your opponent doesn't have anything. Let's see what was banished. A lot of sided cards. I think that was 2 Lulu, but he has a 3rd in hand. Nan can always recycle as well. Normal summon Lulu, then activate Lao. That's going to send a copy of Qinglong, summon itself. And then you can use Qinglong, that's going to search for a copy of Gigi and pitch the Gamma. Then going to activate Gigi and then send Qinglong, that's going to summon itself. And then he can go for a 6, he can go for a 9. He's going to go for a 6, it's going to be Stardust Charge, it's going to let him draw a card. It's going to be Lili, which is pretty sick. So he's now able to send Kowloon, and he's not going to send Chuche. Let's see how many were banished. 1 is banished. Yeah, reasonable to not like want to send the 3rd one in case you have Kowloon access later, maybe. Yeah, I think that's fine. And then, let's see, you can go for rank 6s. If he has Ultimaya, he can go for that. Let's see what the play ends up being. Oh, he's going to overlay for Fanfan, nice. So Fanfan is pretty good here. This can get rid of one of the Drytron names, which is nice. I like that a lot. So yeah, you can get rid of Alpha, because most builds are on 1, maybe 2 Medionis. So if they're on 1, like Zeta doesn't actually get a lot of value. But Alpha always is going to get Ben 10, because you know that he just doesn't have Ben 10s right now. And you know he's on the Megalith stuff, so that can also grab those cards too. So yeah. I think Fanfan's just going to banish the Oak and the Alpha here. Yep, that is pretty reasonable. And just going to attack. We can make Zeus too if he's on Gaia Charger, which he should be. Oh, he's going to be Gaia Charger first. I always think that for some reason this can only be used in, or summoned in main phase 2. I don't know why, but it can be summoned in main phase 1. So he's going to go ahead. Yeah, Volcasaurus Gaia. I don't know why for some reason. I was thinking this had to be in main phase 2. But yeah, he's going to go ahead and just attack for 46. And then go for Zeus. And then set Chuche and pass. Resolving Gigi, that can add back Lulu probably, because he already has Lalo, so it's pretty nice. So yeah, he's pretty well set up. Fraternity's going to top tick a Manju. That's not bad. Manju can grab Ben 10, which can allow Zeta to be used. So this game is not over just yet. It's not looking great, but it's doable perhaps. That's a very good top deck. Manju going to be normal summon, that's going to search for a copy of Ben 10. And then we can Zeta tribute it away. The Megalith spell, Unformed is what it's called. That's not a ritual, it's a quick play. So that can't be searched off of Zeta, which is pretty unfortunate. I don't know what other rituals you would even be on besides Medionis. He's going to use Zeta effect, that's going to tribute away the Ben 10, summon itself. and then go for Natasha. Okay, I'm a fan of this card. I like this card quite a lot. That's off the Benton here. Now the problem is that like this is only good if Meteonis is allowed to add itself back to hand, because it adds itself back by reducing a Drytron monster's attack by exactly 1,000 till the end of your opponent's turn. But if he goes Meteonis, Drytron, Chainlink 1, and then Zeus is used to Chainlink 2, or Chuche is used, then it can't reduce the attack and has to reduce the attack in order for it to be added back to hand. So, yeah, Joseph has a lot of answers to this. Not looking too good for Jack, unfortunately. Oh, he's just going to use Zeus instead. Okay. I assume that was in response to Meteonis, because that is, in fact, a once per turn for a use effect. So I don't imagine you'd use it any sooner. Or maybe you want to like prevent like any link plays, but realistically, with the Dawn Knight already in the graveyard, Reunion Carry doesn't really do anything. So, yeah, I would assume that was in response to Meteonis. I think using Chuche would win. Oh, he doesn't have targets for Chuche. Okay, never mind. Whoops. I somehow missed that. I really thought that the Chuche was alive. I'm just so used to seeing like a big banish pile. I'm like, alright, there has to be virtual worlds there. But yeah, no, 10 of them are Desires and 2 of them are Cyframes. So that is not the case. So yeah, had to have been Zeus. Makes sense. But yeah, from here, you can't do anything, which is unfortunate. And you know your opponent has Lulu in hand. The Lelo is unknown, but like, you know they have Qinglong, so they can always enable the Lulu, so I think it's game regardless here. Yeah, I don't see any way out, especially since he's only on 3,400. Like, literally even just normal summoning the Lulu's game. So yeah, I think this is just the end of it right here. Yep, and with that, that is going to be a victory 2-1 for Virtual World. Pretty interesting to see what variant of Drytron is still running about, because of the fact that this deck definitely is not solved or optimized yet. And we saw like a big Megalith engine, and I know some people are hugely against the Megalith engine. Others are definitely in favor of it. So it'll be interesting to see which Drytron builds prevail. I'm fairly confident this deck is going to top this event. So we'll just have to wait and see. But that's going to do it for the video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you did, be sure to leave a like as well as any thoughts or feedback in the comments. Subscribe for more competitive Yu-Gi-Oh content and more LCS content. If you want to, you can follow me on all social media platforms or support me via Patreon or TCG Player. All links are in the description as always. And until next time, I'll catch you in the next video. See you guys.